Hey. All right. So, I have been basically really frustrated with the outcome from these five cubbies. I noticed that when I try to record on a voice recorder from a speaker to grab sound from any of my keyboards or my microphones, it doesn't translate the bass. And I was hoping maybe because they were in boxes that it would isolate the sound enough to where the microphone on the phone would hear the speaker correctly. I was extremely saddened to find out that I couldn't have been more wrong. Um, that led to something that I had already done on multiple occasions over the years, which was try to figure out a way to record all of these instruments and my vocals somehow electronically so that it captures every essence of all of the experience. It started out about a year and a half ago when I just looked up, what are the top five software editing programs, and they just basically said GarageBand and Pro Tools. Well, I happened to be watching a YouTube the other night where a girl was talking about how she's using this one MIDI, and the MIDI is usually about this big, and it does some sound effects, and how it goes straight to her laptop. And her editing site or her software program that she chooses was Cubase. I'd never heard of that. So I looked it up, and apparently that's what I was looking for all along when it came to Pro Tools and GarageBand, something a little bit classier, something that didn't have a monthly subscription, something that is like something that gets mailed to you in a box, like a software program, and that way it's yours, and it gives you a dongle, which is like a USB insert that has the serial number or key code, and then it's yours. You can upload it to up to 3 different computers and all that. So this was a great moment for me because I ran into a lot of problems with Pro Tools in trying to connect these keyboards to my laptop so that Pro Tools would recognize it, and I just couldn't do a single one of them. That's what led to me coming up with a side effort because it says you need to obviously download some codecs and all kinds of shit, and it still didn't work. So everything that I tried didn't work. At the back of the computer or the back of the keyboards, there's like all kinds of plugs you gotta buy, and I had them all, and they were in my keyboard. They were in my laptop, and so I pretty much paid for that entire subscription and everything because it was a contract, and it ended like a year ago, and I just basically was helpless until I came up with this idea. I didn't know what to do. And I just kind of figured, I'm not smart enough. Sad moment. Well, I realized that these didn't work recently, so I was back to just sort of browsing on the internet, and I just was so frustrated. I'm like, there has got to be a way to get these things to where when I play something, I can press record on something. Believe it or not, it doesn't matter where you shop, Guitar Center or Sweetwater or Amazon. Any keyboard that you buy, 99 out of 100 of them do not have a button to press record for whatever you play. There's no SD card slot, nothing. You get to play for your family. It'll do a loop. It'll give you a touchpad beat pad, and it'll give you 15 seconds for whatever beats you can come up with. A beat pad to play on a loop so you can get started on your music endeavors, and it's just a joke. It's a joke on you. It felt like it was a joke on me until I got the Roland Phantom, which I found out based on a lot of study that it's the only one that does where it does record what you play, but it's not as simple as just pressing record. You got to go through a lot of hoops. So the only problem was I couldn't get it to record vocals, and it didn't ever allow me to record all of my other keyboards. And it didn't do vocals, which means I don't get to use any of the vocoders that I bought. It doesn't do my vsynth that has all the vocoders built into that. So it just has, I get what is limited to this Roland Phantom, which is it's obviously going to have a lot of stuff. But I mean, I bought this because I wanted to use it. I got all of it because I wanted to use it. Well, time has been sweet because I was just about to give up in doing a search on Google until I rearranged my wording and I said, as a last possible option, I said, recording control panel MIDI. I never did control panel. I did recording MIDI. But I go, and a MIDI is something like this would be considered a MIDI. Something like that. Anything that looks like something like that, square, those are generally MIDIs. If it's got a lot of piano keys that light up and they get all cute, that's a MIDI. Some of them are called synthesizers. They're still in the keyboard world. It's considered also MIDI. So I've been doing recording MIDIs. Come on, please, control me. It didn't ever work, and I was just, you keep looking and keep looking. And then I just, as a last possible option, I just said, recording control panel MIDI. Well, I scrolled over and I'm just like looking. A lot of them have, turn things and then the things that do this. And it's like, no, I need one with an interface. Well, I'll show you what I found. Just popped up. And I've been looking for this for a very long time. This is called the The-Zoom-R20. Now this thing was something else when I saw it. I'm like, because I recognize those colors. Because those colors in that screen, it's on my Roland Phantom. Yeah, it's in the final stages of when you've added your music and you want to move things, cut things, layer things. That's in this. So I knew it when I saw it. I'm like, no, wait, it came out like 2 years ago. And the interesting thing about this is it has 8 plugins. So I can plug in 5 keyboards and 3 microphones, and all of them I could operate even like this and be singing, and they would all get recorded, each one on its own track, and no sound reverberates to the other tracks. It's electronically isolated, sent to a super brain with superpowers where nothing bleeds on each other, meaning you can stop everything, put on headphones or listen to your speaker or whatever, mute all the other tracks and play one, and it'll be crystal clear with no bleeding of any of the other keyboards or microphones. And not only that, if you have all 8 plugged in, it gives you 16 altogether to utilize. So when you want to cut something and duplicate something, you have 8 other tracks as borrowed space you can just use, and it'll even color code them all differently. So whenever you want to just get crazy, it'll allow you to. Now, let me think. So, fact of the matter is, I ordered it. So, boom. Now I want to show you just exactly what this thing does. You got, microphones right here, keyboards right here. If you have problems plugging in your keyboard because you only got these two things and it only comes with two of these, plug them into an adapter that makes it into, plug it into an adapter pieces that receive, that puts it in, 1.4, and then you get the issue of turning that into an XLR, so you get an adapter piece off of Amazon. Just say 1.4 female to an XLR male adapter piece, and that'll be one of these, and you got yourself all these made. Now you got all these buttons all these knobs right here will make it so you won't get any of that clipping sound. It'll just zap that right out. So any problems that we might have been talking about before with the putting them in the cubes and shit, and then having that sound, each one of these already comes with an anti-clipper. So you just tweak it. If you're hearing it in your stereo system, find out which one of your microphones is causing it because of which vocoder. Come over here and then turn it up or down until it goes away. Now, you want to see something really cool? So we gotta turn these on. I think this one is maybe this one. Hold on. Hello? Hello? Yeah, so whichever one you want to use. I mean, we're gonna, obviously you can turn all of these on if they're all plugged in, but I want to show you. So like, just basically do it as simple as it. And this is the, as far as, this is the screen that you see all the time. You just basically go, boom. Hello? Hello? How are we all doing? How's it going? Stop. Press it again to go back to the beginning. Hello? How are we all doing? How's it going? And that's how easy that is. And then you have any number of the vocoders that I want to swap it out with. So this is my echoer, right? So you can have one hooked up to your echoer, another microphone like hooked up to your, critical mass, TC Helicon, and another one hooked up to like, your duplicator. And you basically, what you can do is sing one song one time, and it'll be on 3 different bars all next to each other, and none of them will hear each other. Now, if you just want this one to be muted because it's the constant echoer, what you can do is when it gets to that point in the song that you want, because it's the end of the chorus, and you want just the last word to trail off in an echo, but you don't want it to echo the rest of the song while you're playing it, while you're singing it. So then you just click on it after it's already selected and bring the, put this where you want it. Now you can do it that way, or you can use your finger. You just want it to be the last word, right? So you can just say split. And then what you can do is, if these are all synchronized because you sang the song at the same time, then you don't even need that. So you just hit it again and do delete. And then it'll keep the other song. And when you get to this song, right when it gets here, you can either delete. Now here's, if you don't want to do it that way because you're like, well, that's weird. Well, there's another option. After you have everything exactly the way you want it on here with all your vocals, and you can see that there's these, right? You're like, what are these for, right? So you can do what's called a mix down. You come to here, and it's all ready to be better recorded, right? Because right now you've just been in setup mode. Everything is hypothetical, right? So these are to hear the volume of it, right? Well, when you select mix down and then you just press record, it'll start it at the beginning of the song. And as it goes, you have the ability to turn something all the way down. And then when the song or track that you want to turn down and turn this one to hear the echo, you just do this while it's doing the mix down. And then you'll get this one to be deleted and this one to have the echo. If you don't want to concentrate on cutting and everything, then you can manually come in here and be real fast about it and just do that, and it'll be lightning fast. Then you get the effect the way you want it. Now, that's the way it is for the whole song, too. It has something I only found out about with this thing. It's called a mix down. And that means that you record the fades, and you record when you want to nest something and you want to have something pop, you can just go loud right there. Or if you want something like when the chorus starts and you want something to fade out from the verse and you want it to go like this, you can do it in editing so that it's perfect. But if you're not quite comfortable doing it that way, then you always have during the mix down fading it yourself. Now, if you cut everything and splice everything and layer everything the way you want it, then you can just press mix down and press record and not touch anything and have all the volumes the way you want them so that it nests the vocals in with the background music. But now that I've shown you that, you just, go back to here. Now you got the keyboard. So we have what do we want? Strings. So I gotta arm it. So you gotta now that's that, and you go back to the beginning, and then that's gonna record on it on I think 4. So you just stop, press it again, so you go back to the beginning. Now, if we turn this down to here and go back, then 3 has to be up. Sorry. Now you gotta sing louder. So if we want, for instance, to get that, and we go back to here, and then we grab this, I think, and then you go. Hello, how's it going?
How's it going?
How are we all doing?
How are y'all doing?
What's going on?
What's going on?
And then you go back to here and
Hello, how's it going?
turn this up.
Hello, how's it going?
That's still really loud.
How are y'all doing? What's going on?
So, trying to still get used to it. But as you can see, that the vocoder for figuring it out and getting everything situated and knowing about the volumes is important. I was doing everything on my headphones, so you can technically unplug it from the speaker and add in the headphones. If you have neighbors and you want to do everything on your keyboards and have no sound play, none, go straight into your headphones, and you can do it all that way, and it can be transferred obviously to a speaker, and your final turnout will still be normal if someone wants to buy it from you or play it in their car, or you do. Another thing that this does is it can be uploaded. Any MP3 that you have, you can upload it onto this. You can even cut it. You can even change the tempo on it. It has that ability. So if you feel like something can be improved upon, you can add a violin to someone's professional track, and you can save it and send it, and teach yourself some professionalism, or but if you want to do a karaoke download, for instance, and you want to put it on here, then you can technically sing your rendition, but not just one time for everyone to hear, something professional. So, what else? It's also, you can take any clip that you have and press copy and then press paste. So if you have a chorus that is perfect, but you need it 3 more times, and you need to have it be happen again, but you're not that good on the piano, you got lucky, and it was recording, and this thing will record for like a couple of hours before it says stop. So if you're going to just have a practice session on the piano, it'll record all of it. If you stumble on doing something really genius and you think that's what I want for my song, just messing around, that is captured. You find that by scrolling over, and then you just do the cut and then do the cut, delete everything else, bring that all the way back to the beginning, and that can be, the fucking chorus that you were looking for. And then do it 3 more times later on. But this will set up great when you can, work the volumes correctly, and then do ambient sound, and then violin sound, flute sound. I mean, this can do drums with all the pop that you can imagine. I mean, I got drums on here like so when you have everything, you know that this can, so whatever this hits with, that's what it will save as. That's the electronic signal that goes to this. It's not grabbing it from the air. Watch, I'll show you. So let's see, I press this and move it down. Now if I, for instance, since this keyboard was already being used on section 4, if I don't move what was already on section 4, which was the violin, down to number 5, then it's just going to record over it. So I just now basically pushed it once and then drug it down to 5, and it'll do everything right here. So and then we just go back here, don't arm these anymore. See, exactly as I did it the first time. So it'll grab. And this was the answer that I was needing for a very, very, very long time. And you have 8 slots to mess with, and then 16 slots to play with. So this will make it possible to order your favorite MIDIs, your favorite keyboards, your favorite microphones, your favorite vocoders, and have a lot of fun. And any answers that you need, just make sure you stay with YouTube. There is a nice guy on there that knows a lot, and it's really neat because he's helped me out of a couple of binds as far as, when you want to download an MP3, you got to shift it to a WAV format first, and then after you do that, and you put it, this will actually, believe it or not, it has an SD card, right? And that can be taken out at any time and plugged into your keyboard, or you can plug in from, your keyboard to a C slot right here. And once you do that, you just basically got to go into settings and then say, receiving from laptop, and you don't have to drag the memory card in and out, as long as you just connect it, and then you can see it on your computer screen, and then you can just take a finished file from your Zoom or add a file from your computer, but you got to switch it to WAV format, and then you got to go into settings and maybe met with the bit format, which is 16 or 24. Besides that, that's it. But for what I've seen on Cubase and Pro Tools and GarageBand, this thing is 100 times easier. It's not like everything is great and fantastic, but Pro Tools, Cubase, I didn't even come close to figuring that stuff out. So this is what I recommend, especially if you've never taken it seriously to starting your own musical, experience. Now you can, because now you finally have your recording option, and it's as easy as plugging it in. I mean, if you got a keyboard and you have the in and out for the speakers, and then they give you a cord with this to just get the adapter, and then that, and then, and it is just going to play on the first time that you set it up. It will. There's no tricks to it. There's one thing I found out about this, is that it was as fast as plugging it in. So you'll get your items plugged in, and they will play on top of each other. And then when you're ready to just save it, you just do your final mix down. Mess with it or don't mess with it, and it'll save it into an MP3, I think, and you can just listen to it right when it downloads to your computer. Yeah. So also you can combine tracks, so to help with your workflow, if I think these are great, I want to make sure that I don't touch them or mess with them. It'll allow you to bounce tracks and combine them so that they're permanently stuck like that. It has an undo button in case you fuck up. And then, but the best part is, once you get going on it, I think that it's got the keys to all of the problems that every person that ever purchased a keyboard ran into immediately. And you never ever have to mess with what they call a DAW, ever. And this has special effects built into it too. If you don't have the money for a vocoder, and you want to change the way at 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever, or the whole thing sounds, you can go into settings and it gives you like 40 options for reverb, like hallway or a little bit of echo. It has to think and then process, but it'll still work. But so basically what I'm saying is if you were having the trouble that I was having and trying to figure out these interfaces on these computers, and you couldn't get your keyboards to see them, and your computer couldn't see your keyboard, so it limited all of your progress, this is plug and play.